Look alive, Lightning fans, because the Tampa Bay Lightning put on a show in Sunrise yesterday, destroying the Panthers 5-1. Let's dive into this one. 1. Another scary start for the Bolts in this game. The beginning felt like a bit of a mess as the Bolts coughed up an early goal to Matthew Tkachuk on what was a missed fundamental defensive coverage in front of the net again. First of all, if I am Nick Paul, I am absolutely bodying this player in this situation. Let him take this bad angle shot and take him out of the play with a real check. Instead, he goes for a botched shot block, gets dangled, takes himself out of the play, and does absolutely nothing to prevent this. Secondly, let's take a look at Sorelli here. I'm not sure I've ever criticized this guy's play as he's typically excellent, but this just feels unbelievably lazy to me. You can't just coast into the defensive zone and watch the play develop. He takes absolutely zero strides in the defensive zone where he could have skated hard to help take away the stick or body of Tkachuk on this rebound. This team has a lot of work to do moving forward on defensive effort levels. 2. The power plays for both teams in this game were utterly silenced. 0 power play goals on a total of 9 combined opportunities between these two juggernauts. This is particularly impressive for the Lightning, who played without Brandon Hagel, who typically plays a significant role on the PK. Given this is a violent series, I expect to see plenty more power play opportunities for both teams, and the Lightning will need to continue the effective kill they displayed in this game and find a way to solve their own power play troubles. It did appear they moved Cooch around to try and change the look on the power play and convert, but it failed. 3. The top line came to life in this game. On Pointer's deflection goal, both Kucherov and Gensel made remarkable plays with the puck. Kucherov's quick cutback combined with both Jake's quick dangle and Point's perfect screen resulted in a fantastic play for the first Lightning goal in over 60 minutes of play. This seemed to ignite them because after the first intermission, the Lightning looked like a brand new team. I can't know what was said in the locker room, but it worked. These guys were applying pressure all over the ice and began beating the Panthers with their own style, which was encouraging to see. 4. The Bolts did some great things in this game, but let's not pretend it was perfect. Areas in which they excelled include draws, hits, block shots, takeaways, and penalty killing, but still managed to give away the puck 20 times, give up 4 power play opportunities, and score on not a single of their 5 power plays. 5. Let's talk Matthew Tkachuk's hit on Jake Gensel. Tkachuk will not face disciplinary action for this hit, and I actually agree with this. Let me explain. First of all, we can all agree this is a late, dirty hit and certainly a penalty. A lot of fans are calling for a suspension, particularly after watching one of our own, Brandon Hagel, receive a 1-game suspension for this type of hit. There are a few major differences between these hits in my opinion, which is why my opinion aligns with the NHL Department of Player Safety. 1. The most notable difference between these hits is the fact that the puck was not touched by Barkov. It doesn't matter if it looked like Barkov would touch the puck or if Hagel assumed he would touch the puck. It is outright factual that Barkov did not touch the puck and is therefore not eligible to be checked in any fashion. Jake, however, did touch the puck and is eligible to be legally checked, though this check was most certainly outside of the legal check window, hence the 5-minute major that was accurately assessed. 2. Leaving the feet is a big part of these checks. I'm going to argue here that Hagel visibly jumps into his check. As someone who has over a decade of contact hockey under his belt, I think it's clear that Hagel deliberately uses upward momentum by leaving his feet to make contact up high, though I simultaneously believe that neither of these checks make head contact, at least as the principal point of contact. Tkachuk is thrown off balance, but in no way do I believe he uses a jumping motion to deliver his check. 3. To me, Barkov appears at least in mild distress immediately after this check. Obviously, we know this wasn't a long-term injury, considering he played in Game 3, but at the time, his status was in question, a big brain play by the Panthers. It is obvious that Gensel is uninjured after this play, and we know that the Department of Player Safety does take that into consideration to some extent. 6. Lastly, I understand the series is growing increasingly violent, but the ridiculous calls continue. I completely disagree with Kucherov's penalty. Not only do I think this just isn't a penalty on either player, but if you're gonna give it to someone, it's on Bennett. I do not see a world where this should be a penalty at all. Aside from that, there were 4 roughing penalties in this game, 2 misconducts, and an unsportsmanlike conduct. I agree with the unsportsmanlike on Tkachuk for dumping Hedman into the net, but really they need to let the boys play. Not just in this series, but throughout the NHL. Lightning got the job done in Game 3, but are in no position of comfort as they need to even this series in Game 4 in enemy territory before returning home for a now certain Game 5 at Amalie Arena. Go Bolts.